Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of the ECL Elite Division right here on Sports Gamer. My name is Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Mr. Sin, for the win. And Sin, today we kick off what we can really deem the home stretch of this season. Week 6, the final week, the final push for a lot of these teams to try and end up in the playoffs. 16 teams, only 8 spots, and still a lot to be decided here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and still a lot of things, completely wide open. Still some chances for teams to work their way back into it. I mean, we have a couple other broadcast dates after this. You're going to see from the standings how many games left some of these teams have to kind of leapfrog some other teams to make things up. And it's been a tight race pretty much all season, but this is where it really comes down to it.
Absolutely. Sin alluded towards it. We'll be here not only tonight, but Monday and Wednesday as well to wrap up our coverage for the regular season here in spring 22. As again, today's broadcast, we kick things off. Jyväskylä taking on Roots Gaming. And a little bit later on, it is a rematch of what has been our championship final for the last 3 seasons for Lunda and H-Reds. Of course, H-Reds winning back-to-back matchups there, taking the top of the mountain all for themselves. Very intrigued by that matchup. And then tomorrow, a little bit later on, of course, 1945 CEST, it is ZSC Esports taking on Frölunda and the Fallen Coal Miners against Stargazing in a matchup sin that could very much decide who ends up in a relegation spot. So a lot to play for on that one. I'm not sure if we have our Wednesday graphic as well. But in terms of the games that are going to be played there, again, a lot to be decided, and trying to get that up there really quickly because it's a mad dash into the end of the season here. And Wednesday, as far as I know, we might have a second matchup in there, but I do know we're covering Yippee Vaskala and Färjestad. So we'll see a lot of Yip this week on broadcast, a lot of Frölunda as well. Like I said, a lot to play for all of these teams.
Yeah, I mean every single team, no matter what week of the season is, essentially you always have something to play for, whether it's battling for that playoff position as you see, or trying to stay out of one of those relegation positions. And you see there with the amount of games played, a lot of these teams are close to the end, or if you're Goons, you've already finished the end of your season. So what you see is what you're going to get from Goons out of points. Edinburgh behind them with 4 games in hand, Havu 2 games in hand, Roots with 6 games in hand, who we're going to see now against Yippee Voskala, who are kind of finding themselves precariously near one of those relegation positions where earlier on in the season we thought they may have a chance to make those playoffs.
Again, 13, 14, and 15 all end up in a relegation series against one of our pro division clubs, while the 16th placed team is automatically relegated to that pro division. So obviously still a lot to play for IQ. They'll be keeping an eye on that stargazing matchup tomorrow against the Fallon Coal Miners, but it's very interesting, Sin, again, 30 game regular season to see where these teams are at. You start to get that little bit of separation playoff wise, but a team like Färjestad, not necessarily out of it. ZSC as well, still within striking distance. But this has been an unbelievable season just to see the shakeup. Urabro, you know, and not only them, Conquer Gaming as well. Someone who, you look at Urabro, it's like, okay, maybe they'll make it. Conquer were the team picked by a lot of people to be automatically relegated. And then how about Havu overcoming that slow start after the departing of their former captain and Flyer Kungan? But here they are, just about secured in a playoff spot. So many stories up and down the standings.
Absolutely, and to see Färjestad at this point in the season on the outside looking in, and I mean they're close by, but still they need to make up 3 points to get themselves back into that position. They have games in hand over Conquer and Havu, but that's kind of their kind of only shot there. If you look at Roots Gaming with 6 games before the end of their season here, it's not going to be easy for Färjestad to squeeze their way back in, and we may see Roots finally kind of get over that hump of being one on the ninth, 10th spots as they have been for the last couple seasons, and make their way into that playoff position that they've been vying for.
So again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need and to follow along here through our final week of the regular season. Again, we'll try to update you as the week goes on about everything that has shuffled because again, there's still a whole Lot to play for here. But for now, let's switch our focus to the matter at hand. Our first matchup of the day. Number 8, Roots Gaming, actually technically number 7 now, taking on Yip Ivaskala. And Sin, it's one of those things that you look at it and it's honestly surprising to see that Yip Ivaskala have the record that they do with apparently such a drastic goal differential.
Yeah, and they were much, much closer throughout the early parts of the season. So they've kind of had some struggles here down the stretch, which is, not where you want to have it. But, again, it's not just a Voskala with a chance to play spoiler. They're trying to stay out of one of those relegation positions. They're right on the edge of that. And, they're really going to have their work cut out for them here with Roots. But same kind of thing with Roots with a 52 goals for and 54 goals against. A 13-6-5 record. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself to be where they are in the standings with that sort of goal differential. So definitely something that they're going to want to look to clean up. But that power play is absolutely deadly here. So Yippee Voskala going to want to stay out of the box.
Absolutely. Of course, Yip returning to the Elite Division after a season away, and shocking history that they have here. A very interesting history in the Elite Division, to say the absolute least. The lineup for these two teams in this matchup: Yippee Voskala with Aro, Antti, and Captain Indy as their front three, with Sile and Sakam on defense and Kazu in goal. For Roots Gaming, it is Limu, Lexa, and Sampi. Nordsman with Vodi on defense, and between the pipes, Mehis is back for Roots Gaming. And as we always do, we'll start off with that center comparison. It is Antti versus Alexa. And Lexa has really been, Sim, perhaps the biggest catalyst here for this team's success this season. He's up there in terms of assists in the league. The point total, very, very respectable. But as well, we always talk about it with the centers, those extra possessions from a high face-off percentage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good, and if you're winning those in key areas, all the more better for your team. Especially those set face-offs in the offensive zone. We see a lot of that, and a lot of different looks coming out from teams as well as the game continues to evolve. But yeah, I mean, Lexa with the assist totals he has, not quite in the top 10 amongst everyone for those numbers, but I mean, again, still a terrific job by him to be able to put up some points and obviously, have some great two-way plays. And on the other side from Antti, not exactly where he wants to be, either in faceoffs or with points. It's kind of been more of a struggle here for Yippee Voskala down the stretch to really find ways to generate offense.
We'll move over to the winger battle next. Again, for Yippee Voskala, Aro, and Indy. Lima Sampi on the other side. And again, it's one of those things, a little bit surprised by the offensive struggles that we have seen from Yip. Not a single member of that front three over a point per game, whereas Roots, again, their offense has been perhaps as potent as it's ever been.
Absolutely. And Limu is, the leading point scorer for their club with 36 points. He's been excellent, great goal scoring, able to, rack up the assists as well, and likes to throw the puck on net, not to mention having a pretty solid physical game as well. So he's absolutely looking like a pretty big game changer there for Roots. And yeah, as you mentioned it, on the flip side, Indy and Otto, they're not quite with the point totals that they really want to have. And that's something that, Yippee Voskala is going to have to turn around down the stretch of the season. It kind of seems like if they're not able to have one of those, really tight defensive games that they could win by, like 2-1, maybe 3-2, then they really seem to struggle.
The defensive matchup here again for you: Bivaskala, Sile, and Sakam. You have Nordsman and Vodi on the other side. Similar story here, but Sin, both of these teams featuring some rather physical defensemen that might just be the standout focus for us here as we head into this contest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question Vody likes to lay the body. We've said that pretty much every time that we've covered these guys. But yeah, Sile, same kind of thing. Over 100 hits for him so far in 24 games played. So a lot of physical presences on the blue line for each of these two teams. And if that neutral zone becomes kind of the war that of attrition that it can become, those two guys could have quite a massive impact in those transition games.
And the final head-to-head here, of course, the battle of the goaltenders, Kazu and Mehis. We talk about that 80% save percentage kind of being the target. Kazu just a little bit under where he'd want to be. Mehis on the other side, of course, a part of a tandem for Roots, and a very strong season for him so far.
Yeah, absolutely. They're kind of, it's not even like a 1A, 1B type thing. They're just split it down the middle with the amount of games played that they have so far. So it'll be interesting if they can, maintain their spot in the standings, which one they're kind of going to go to when it comes to the playoffs. And we're going to get a good look of Mehis in this matchup and see what he can do against a team in JYP Voskal who, so like can't be understated. They are struggling to score. So this is a big opportunity for Roots.
So with that, again, just a few moments away from puck drop in this regular season matchup between Hippie Voskala and Roots Gaming. Again, Roots battling here to try and secure a playoff spot. And of course, on the other side for Yippee Voskala, wanting to avoid one of those relegation spots. They fought so hard, Sin, to get back into the elite division. I think at the very least, that would have been the goal, is to make sure that they have a secured spot heading into our next season, of course, which I do believe, of course, would be the winter portion of our 23 season starting up later this year. So much to play for both of these teams. And again, just so much to play for now throughout the rest of this season. I don't know if we have a chance to throw it back to the standings here or not, but it cannot be understated just how fluid of a situation this is for virtually every team. I mean, you mentioned it, Goons, the one team to have finished their regular season already, and it's an interesting spot for them because they're not exactly in control of their own destiny at this stage. You look at Urabro Hockey with that opportunity to potentially secure home ice advantage over Goons in that first matchup. Of course, we say that because with 6 games at hand, like you mentioned for Roots, who knows just how far up the standings Roots could finish here. Especially, I mean, again, you talk about all 4 points today. They're within striking distance of potentially being able to grab a top 4 spot, which would be an incredible accomplishment for that club.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd have to go on quite the run to do that, but anything is possible here. I think their goal is to just essentially get themselves into that playoff situation. And yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with Goons, with the amount of games played. They put themselves in a good spot. They can't drop out of the playoffs, but yeah, seeding is going to be very, very important. If you go from like a 4 or 5 seed to all of a sudden you have to play maybe for Lunda. Definitely not where they would want to be there, but it's going to be tough for some of these teams to be able to work their way all the way up there.
I mean, nobody envies the the 7th and 8th seed, an accomplishment to make the playoffs. But I mean, even potentially down to the 3rd seed as well. For Lunda finished 3rd last season. They have managed to stay ahead of Sawo for the moment. Again, we'll see for Lunda in action against H-Reds a little bit later on. H-Reds going to look to make the end of this season that much more interesting for Lunda moving forward. So much to play for, so much to still be decided here. Again, today we kick off the final week of the regular season. Of course, it is week 6 here already. And Sin, it still has that feeling of wow, we're here already, despite the 1 week pause in the season. Of course, with the World Championships being held in Finland, and so many taking advantage of the opportunity of being able to catch those games in that particular tournament. We talked about what we might see in terms of how this 1 week break could affect some of these teams. On one hand, you think, hey, this is exactly what we needed to kind of reset, recharge, and refocus. For others, maybe you had a bit of momentum heading into the break that you might not be able to recapture.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to kind of quantify that or see how it'll affect teams. Maybe it just doesn't affect them at all. But we always need some kind of talking point to go into some things. But yeah, it's again, this is it. I mean, it's crazy how quickly we always say it. Like you have time, but it's deceptively like 30 games goes by deceptively fast. And here we are almost at the end. What one team's already done with their season. A lot of these teams, just a couple games left. Roots, a definite big chance to control their destiny going into this final stretch. But it starts here. I think they'll got to be looking to take at least 3 points off of a team in Yipivaskala, which has kind of been struggling of late.
Again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need on the Wilhelm e-hockey tour. Stops every single weekend. So again, sportsgamer.gg for all the information that you need there. And of course, that's not the only thing going on with our lovely sponsors as well. Again, use the hashtag eHockeyMoments when you share the best or worst that NHL 22 has had to offer you on Twitter and Instagram, and you can walk away with some IQ fuel. We are giving away some cans, a nice little prize package there for for one lucky winner. Everyone has a chance to win, but for one lucky winner every single week until the end of June. Again, that is hashtag eHockey moments. You see the teams there, Sin. No surprises in terms of player builds or anything like that. The typical playmaker down the middle, puck moving defenseman everywhere else. A gigantic matchup for both of these teams in the first game of two. About ready to begin, and an early chance for Sampi, but he couldn't get that on the short side. What a way to start this game off that would have been.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a quick strike, trying to catch Jyväskylä, perhaps napping a little bit or not starting quite on time here. And now they're in possession in this neutral zone, trying to gain the blue line, but you can see it's just been very tough for them so far. Roots doing a good job of holding down that neutral.
The attacking zone here, of course, Roots in the home, black and green. Jyväskylä in those road whites. Indy dropping it back. Of course, keep an eye out for the golden helmet wearer for each team, signifying the club's leading scorer this stage of the season. Roots again early on in the attacking zone. It wasn't something that we expected to see, such a drastic negative goal differential for Yip. That's what Roots looking to take advantage of here, perhaps that ability to hem Jyväskylä in their own zone, doing a good job here so far. Finally a bit of reprieve as Indy into the attacking zone, held in by Sakam as he'll dump this one in. Down to the other side, Lexi able to recover his pass. Off target, icing is the call.
Yeah, just trying to hit kind of Sampi there. Looks like a bit of a miscue there as he sauced it well over where Sampi was standing, perhaps expecting him to be a bit further up the ice. So good chance for Jyväskylä to capitalize on that mistake and gain some zone time.
Zone face-off for Yip. It is Roots, though. Able to make the most of it. Look at Nordsman stepping up. Pass across doesn't go. Great read by Kazu. Get a leg on that one. So Yip looking to control this breakout. Great outlet pass. Aro in front. Broken up. Might have gone off of the skates of Antti. Opportunity here. Sampi again in front. Puck loose. A great job there to hold on to it. Dangerous moments on both sides of the ice. Aro again tries to go down low. Nobody can hold his pass. That wraparound stopped by Mehis. Sampi again into the attacking zone. Stepping in is Nordsman now, and fortunately for Roots Gaming, not able to hold that one in. What a fast and furious pace this is for the first 11 minutes. Both goaltenders having to be called upon very early on here, and same for the offensive side, the start you want. Certainly not the start on the defensive side, though, that either team was looking for.
It was a great wraparound chance for Jyväskylä. Mehis wasn't, quite in perfect position for it. Somehow was able to stop it, and these kind of chances, unfortunately for Jyväskylä, they can't really afford to have them go by the wayside, but they've been able to generate chances, and that's, definitely the first step for them to be able to get this offense going here. And again, doing a pretty good job at the blue line now. They're trying to settle in a bit, not allow Roots the same easier zone entries that they've been getting throughout the first half of this period. And you may see that from both teams, trying to tighten up. But I think that's kind of exactly what Jyväskylä wants. It's the kind of game that they want to play, a tight game where, all they need is, maybe a couple goals to be able to go in.
Yip trying to get things going here through the neutral zone. Roots providing them very little space. Will reset and try again. Indy immediately stifled, though. Antti able to find it. Has it again. Tried the shot. Scores! Bit of a change up there. Indy finds the loose puck. Throws a backhand on. And it finds a way home. Jyväskylä striking first.
Yeah, definitely not a puck that you maybe expect to go in, but that's the advantage sometimes of throwing the puck on. And you can see there, it's the adjustment coming out from Mehis. He's trying to slide back to the right, and The shot going back to the left-hand side, as slow as it may be, was perfectly located right there for Indy, and Jyväskylä jump out to a 1-0 lead.
You know, Sin, it's one of those things we talk about all the time. Throw the puck on net. You never know what's going to happen. We see it all the time. Such a possession-heavy league, the Elite Division, but again, you never know. Roots back in control here, now trailing here in the first period. Just 3 minutes to play already. This opening frame, Roots get that puck back. What a shot and a goal! Sampi able to pick that far side corner all the way from the point, and we are tied.
Bit of a wicked wrister right there coming out from Sampi, perhaps even taking Kazu a bit off guard, who was, sliding back to that right-hand side to sort of predict where the play was headed right there, but Sampi just lets it fly from the point and completely beats him, picks the corner, and you could even argue that was a bit of a changeup just from the amount of distance that puck had to travel there, but a great response from Roots here at the tail end of the first to tie this one up.
Exactly what they needed, and a trip is called. Exactly what Jyväskylä did not need, as Roots tied this game, and now they're going on the power play.
Yeah, the #1 power play in the Elite Division as well at a whopping 35%. Definitely scary, and definitely something that Jyväskylä is going to have to be careful of. They do have a top 5 penalty kill themselves, but there's just something about this Roots power play that's deadly, and we get to see it go to work here.
Yep, win their first face-off of the game, and it's while their center's in the box. Not the most polite stat in Anti's favor. Final minute. Roots in the attacking zone. Gave up that first goal, looking to snag the lead here by the end of the period. It's Nordsman. Looking at his options. Goes across. Pass was completed. That one off the leg in front. Still kicking around, and they score! Vody, the piece of candy pickup in front. And what a turnaround here for Roots. 2-1 late in the first.
Just a picture-perfect power play coming out from Roots. They work the perimeter, open up some space in the middle. They take the shot when they need to, and then everyone collapses around the net looking for a rebound. And that is why this is the #1 power play in the Elite Division. Just clinical, mechanical, and everything about it is just so good. We're able to get that goal, take the lead here at the tail end of the first with just seconds remaining. Jyväskylä looking for one more chance, but likely won't get it here as time expires.
2-1 your score at the end of 20 minutes of the 3 goals. Instead, we'll get a look at some of the physicality that was brought. The elite edges, of course, very much on display, but what a turnaround there for Roots after a rather surprising goal from Indy to start things off. Sin, they get that snipe from the point, and then right there we get another look at it, the power play goal to make it 2-1. And again, a rather rough start for Yip, just, aside from that backhand goal.
Yeah, they weren't able to really generate a whole lot of anything besides, as you said, on the play where they got the goal. Yes, there's some power play time in there for Roots, but even before that, they definitely had the majority of the offensive possession and able to set things up. And we said it in the pregame, you really are not, you're going to want to stay out of the box against the top power play, and Jyväskylä makes the mistake of taking a penalty in the first period, and kind of like clockwork, Roots makes them pay for it. So Jyväskylä jumped out to that lead, but 2 unanswered for Roots, and all of a sudden, Jyväskylä find themselves down here, and for teams struggling to score, this definitely doesn't feel good. They got to find a way to get that puck back in their hands and get some more chances.
Again, second period underway. ECL Elite Division action brought to you all throughout this season, of course, by our friends at Wilhelm Lakritzi and ST Hockey. As Kazu was again called upon to make a save. He might need to make another one here. Puck bouncing around. Roots were right back in on the attack. Step up there, and again, completely stifled by the defense of Roots. Seeley held that one in. Shot just wide of the post. Good opportunity for Aro. Just not able to hit the target, as not sure what I thought was going to happen there. Shot on and a glove save by Kazu. Here again in the early stages of the second period. Just
just wanted to rip that on from a tight angle. There's an interesting kind of breakout and break in for Roots. It just kind of seemed to work right there. But really want to comment here on Vody's game so far. He's been all over the ice. You know, obviously we know he's got a great physical game, but he got that second goal. He's been leading the rush at times, forcing those turnovers. He just looked exceptionally good for Roots so far, and that's what they need at this stage in the season. You know, game changers. There he is again, jumping up into the play, getting that puck in deep.
He'll be able to pick this one up. Let's see where he can go with it. Drop back over and find any space that they can. Easier said than done. Good bit of weaving, would have been offside. Vody one more time, stepping up. His shot off the leg of a defender. Yip back in possession, trying to break in. There's some space. Antti dragged down. Aro's shot doesn't find a way home. Sockham's pass to Sile off the mark. Again, still a delayed penalty as Kazu makes it to the bench. Extra attacker out. Here's Antti again, unable to complete the move, but a power play coming up. And a great opportunity for Jyväskylä to tie this one.
Absolutely. They haven't really had a great power play throughout the course of this season, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. This is an opportunity. And if you're Jyväskylä, you can't let these opportunities go by the wayside. Again, Roots just an incredible special teams team. They're second in the league with their penalty kills. So work cut out for Jyväskylä. We'll see what they can do here.
Roots win another one. The face-off domination continues, and the puck cleared. The ideal start for Yip on this man advantage, their first of the game. Power play we've seen so far resulted in the go-ahead goal for Roots. He takes a puck to the face, and a penalty is called here, and well, so much for the Jyväskylä power play. As we'll take a look here at the infraction from Aro.
Called a boarding. Looks like he did maybe try to get to the side of him, but called a boarding nonetheless here, and that's just unfortunately a bit of rotten luck for Jyväskylä, you know, trying to forecheck, trying to get that puck back and take a penalty of their own. Fortunately for them, there won't be too much carryover time, but a lot of space out here for this 4-on-4.
Sockham for Indy. Dealt off for Sile. Deflection bid. Good save there by Mehis. Sile again. Circles back in front, still fighting for it. Great job, though, by the Roots defense to take that opportunity away. 10 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Yep, back into the attacking zone, only momentarily. Roots now 45 seconds worth of power play time. That puck is immediately cleared. One more chance to try to get established. Vody has a lot of space to work with, goes around the back. Nordsman now. We are back to 5-on-5. That shot and a good glove save by Kazu.
Yeah, needed that save right there as Roots began to swarm in the offensive zone, and that's one thing after you successful penalty killed all those teams, you know, looking to get some momentum or use that momentum from killing the penalty, perhaps get some chances right there, and would have been very detrimental for Jyväskylä, who has had trouble scoring, as we mentioned, throughout the course of the season. Go down by 2 goals here at this stage of the game, but back in possession now, looking for a zone entry.
Up into the far side, bounces. Tape of Indy. Unfortunate break there. Job though by Yip to shut things down. 6 minutes to play here in the second period. Attacking zone again, bouncing around in front. Roots back in control. It's Alexa to Nordsman. Limu's shot, a second chance, doesn't go. Looked like Kazu got a big piece of that one. Phenomenal stop. And here come Yip down the other way. But unfortunately, again, Aro just not able to kind of find that chemistry with Antti in the middle of the ice.
Yeah, Antti trying to cut over to get to that forehand and kind of got crossed up with Aro right there. And it just seems like Jyväskylä hasn't quite been in sync in some ways in this one. And there it is right there. Antti will be headed to the box. Just fortunate for him, bumps the wrong guy in the neutral zone. That'll be interference, and Roots with another chance on that deadly, deadly power play. And I mean, this could be a huge pivotal point in this game. Jyväskylä have to kill this off.
We'll see the third power play of the game for Roots. Again, that second chance lasted all of 50 seconds. Except for Nordsman, Limu right back to him. Great puck movement here from Roots. The opportunity not showing itself here. Aro can't chop it out. Gets a second chance and does clear all the way back to the Roots zone. Power play half over.
Fortunate for him, I think he felt like he had a little bit of less time than he did, opted for the chop instead of trying to get possession and clear it out here, but good work from Indy on the boards right there to get that out, and all of a sudden, there are only 30 seconds left in this power play.
Still held in the neutral zone and cleared all the way down. Great work from JYP on the PK. We are in the final minute of play here in this second period. And an icing call, late chance here for JYP.
34.2 left on the clock. Jyväskylä got to start winning some of these face-offs here so they could get some of these chances. These are the key draws that we talked about that are oh so important here. So we'll see if Antti come away with it.
Off the draw. Indy and a chance. Antti scores. With 20 seconds to go here in the second period. Antti able to find that one and finds the back of the net. We are tied.
Yeah, definitely wasn't the cleanest of face-off wins ever as Indy kind of came in there to sort of try to push that puck loose, and eventually they did, and Antti's able to come away with it, puts the forehand shot on, and capitalizes a tie game in the dying seconds of the second period. That's exactly what Jyväskylä needed. Back on even footing here against Roots. Well, hopefully heading into that third period as the seconds remaining. We'll have actually one more offside whistle.
Yeah, why not add to the grand total there? So, Sim, we will head into the third period, tied at 2. What has proven to be a rather back-and-forth game, so certainly points up for grabs heading into the third. I mean, you kind of talk about it. It doesn't really matter what the stats are through 2 periods of play. It's anyone's game as we head into the third, thanks to that tying goal.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you could have, an advantage for one team or the other, but at the end of the day, we've seen teams, with plenty of time on attack still come out on the losing side. You're going to have to create your chances and capitalize on them, and that's what we've seen so far from both of these teams. Jyväskylä desperately really needed the goal to get back in it. They're able to do it after they killed off, a penalty there, and despite the time of the attack, the same number on the scoreboard here. So, for Roots, that one is a bit harder, more of a kind of a bouncing puck here. I think for them, it's just got to be, getting a few more shots with the time on attack that they have gotten right now. It's not a bad total, but again, sometimes, maybe just throw the puck on the net instead of looking for the kind of perfect chance right there. Look for a few more jam plays. I really like what they did on that first power play. Got the puck to the middle for a shot, and then 3 guys collapsing, waiting for the rebound. And I think we're going to see a bit more of that from Roots on the 5-on-5 side of things as well. Some jam plays, shooting for rebounds, looking for deflections in front, because Jyväskylä, the one thing they do is play, a pretty good collapse and defensive game in their own end. So, those easier or higher quality chances are a lot harder to come by here. So we'll see if Roots makes that adjustment in the third period.
Indeed, the third period underway. Again, the first game of 2 between these two clubs in this regular season matchup. Here's Roots back into the attacking zone. Bodie in front. A good job by the defense to take it away. Offside call here in the early stages of the third. Or Sin Roots with that big face-off advantage so far, but we've seen JYP take advantage of the chances that they do win. Fortunately there, at least for Jyväskylä, it's Roots in possession and back into the attacking zone. Turnover and a great opportunity that they couldn't quite capitalize on. Might have needed near superhuman reaction time to bury that one, as Sile taking advantage there in the neutral zone with some physicality and maybe a bit of anxiousness on both sides of the ice here. Next goal very important for both of these two teams in this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's exceptionally massive. I mean, we saw the standings in Roots right now, in a playoff position with games in hand. They want to get all the points they can. Just kind of threw that one on looking for a rebound.
Roots here, entrenched in the attacking zone. That shot, the rebound goes all the way back towards the point. And JYP have it. Sile takes the hit. Nowhere to go, and Aro can play the body, doesn't work out. Bodie again now for Roots. Goes down low. Wraparound bid, stifled by the defense. Puck poked right back through the slot. But again, Yip able to settle things down. They try that quick out. Auntie tried to feather that one through the path of Aro. And a great poke check by Indy. The captain, Auntie, one-timer, they score! All three forwards involved. Jyväskylä regain the lead. It was once 1-0, now 3-2.
What a beautiful, beautiful play coming out from Jyväskylä. All starts with Indy on the forecheck, forcing the turnover, getting that puck down low, up to Auntie in the slot, who then quickly sends it back over to Aro, and you can see from the reaction of Mahis, just couldn't quite read that play, did not get back over to his right-hand side of the net. Aro gets the go-ahead goal, and with 10:48 remaining, Roots once again on the back foot here.
Fantastic strike there. What a pass that was from Auntie. We'll see how Roots respond. Of course, as I mentioned, down 1-0 early on in this game. They came back to grab the lead. Gonna have to do so again. 24 games played out of the 30. Huge opportunity for them to rise up the standings late here. And this is our final week of this regular season. And where might Roots be by the end of it? That pass off the mark. No. In terms of Auntie being able to win that foot race, thought he might. Instead, it's icing.
Get another critical opportunity here for Roots, now finding themselves down in this game. Another face-off opportunity that they have to be able to set something up in the O-zone.
Is Yip, though, able to win this defensive zone draw? See, good chance again there by Indy. The captain, great at throwing unorthodox looks on goal. Limu, not able to outduel Sockham. So he'll be able to get that puck out. Just 5 minutes to go. Here's Aro. Has the go-ahead goal. Might it be more by the end of this one? We move back for Lexa. Tried to go to the point. Nobody home. Aro's going to win this foot race for the puck. Goes all the way back to the point. Sockham again down low. Indy tried that wraparound. Mahis was there. Just 2:59 to play here in regulation.
This is all serving to benefit Jyväskylä. You know, he's kind of able to force turnovers or sloppy plays from the attempted zone exits from Roots here. It's just killing more time off the clock, and these defensive zone draws as well. So have the same sort of result for Jyväskylä, but here come Roots now on the attack.
Offside, 2:25 to play. Might this just benefit Jyväskylä that much more to keep this pace where it's at? Knowing that the clock is their best friend right now. It is Sockham. We're now under 2 minutes to play. He turns this one over potentially. Sealy able to recover the quick out to Indy, who sneaks behind the defense. The captain, short side. Mahis able to make the stop. Final minute. Aro and Indy. Here's Aro. Great opportunity that the defense takes away. Mahis plays it out. Roots struggling to gain the zone. Puck turned over. It was looking good for Roots. Jyväskylä, a phenomenal goal to snag the lead. Vody in front. A trip is called. Delayed penalty here. And with 28.5 to play, and now an empty net for Roots, it's all or nothing.
Yeah, they're going all out for this one. They're on the power play. Timeouts will be called. They're emptying the net as well. This is a big, big moment for them. They want to try to get points out of this matchup. We saw, you know, we said it in the pregame. This is a huge chance for them to really solidify themselves in their playoff position. They're sitting right now in that 7 spot with 6 games in hand, but games in hand are only good if you're able to get those points out of them. And, you know, right now they're in danger of, you know, they were in a position to be able to get 2 points. At this point, they may not even get 1 here. This power play is extremely important, and well, you can see just how important by them emptying the net.
30 seconds to play here in this one. Roots have possession. One timer stopped by Kazu, 20 on the clock.
Not a bad look right there. Just hoping for perhaps a rebound. It's worked for them before, kind of, but not in that one. But 19 seconds left. Again, another important face-off.
Shot just wide of the glove side. A scramble for the puck. Yippee Voskala clear. It'll be wide of the goal. One more chance for Roots. Mehes' shot goes wide, and a pass off the mark. Yippee Voskala picking up all 2 points in this one. And a tremendous comeback effort as they win this one 3-2.
It's just absolutely massive win for Yippee Voskala here. There are times where they almost looked down and out, which is crazy because there wasn't too big of a goal margin between these two teams. But Roots Gaming looked like they're in such control at times in this game. And then Yippee Voskala just, again, able to hang around, play a tight game when they could, and come out on top with a 3-2 lead. That's something we kind of talked about in the pregame. Surprising to see them as close to 500 as they are with the goal differential that they have, but it's because of games like this. If they're able, to play that kind of tight style and that they are, they can get these gritty goals like you see right there on just hard work from Indy and Auntie. The game winner, or the goal that ends up being the game winner, hard work from Indy on the forecheck, feeding it back to Auntie, who kicks it over to Aro. That's the play right there, and Aro finishing it off, and that is the goal that ends up being the game winner. And Yippee Voskala get a huge 2 points to keep themselves outside of that relegation territory.
A huge result there. You see Kazu, the 820 save percentage in this one. And overall, again, just a huge result for Yippee Voskala in this first game. So we'll get a look here at some of the goals that were scored. And again, this was the first one, Sin, this backhander from Indy, essentially from no man's land off of this pickup. But job done, and that was certainly an interesting way to start it.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Definitely just kind of a broken play. You see loose puck, but Indy grabs and just throws it towards the net, which is the right play in that scenario. He doesn't really have a pass anywhere. He's stuck between, those black and green jerseys all the way across the board, and he does the right thing, just kind of throws it on right there. And it was a great shot coming out from Sampi. I'm trying to look if it actually hit someone. No, not quite. It just goes straight in right there. And what a shot coming out from him from the can't even call it the high slot. That's just, at the blue line, essentially, where he was kind of going around the horn right there. And this was the power play goal. Just brilliant execution coming out from Roots. The first pass across, well read, circling back around, getting to that forehand, trying to throw it to his shooting area. Bounces off the skate and bounces back to his stick, but that's three Roots skaters down low waiting for that rebound. That's just exactly what you want to do on the power play when you had those outnumbered situations. You get the puck low and outnumber the opponent in that scenario. And this was the goal that at the tail end of the second period that got, Yippee Voskala kind of back into it. They were really seeming to be being outplayed, and Auntie getting that goal really kind of gave them the shot in the arm that they needed. And of course, the game winner coming off the forecheck, Indy knocking that puck loose and retrieving it in the corner, passing up. You can see from the bit of delay, I think he wanted Aro at first, but he delays and knows that he has the late man coming in, sends it to Auntie, who does a one-touch over, and just like that, game-winning goal for Yippee Voskala, and they're able to hold on.
So a huge moment there for Yippee Voskala in this first game. Of course, that second matchup coming up in just a few moments, so stay tuned for that. We'll set the stage for you in just a few minutes. We'll be back after a quick word from our sponsor. Again, a big thank you to our friends at Wilhelm and, of course, Club on Lacrosse and ST Hockey as well. Send our first game of the day in the books. Yip with a fairly large victory for them in terms of, again, where they entered play today. When it comes to the standings, entering play in 13th in that potential relegation battle spot. They certainly needed to have a strong showing here. And that's a good way to do it. I mean, again, you could argue Roots getting the better of certain numbers, but at the end of the day, the win is all that matters. You can sit there and talk about the shots and the time on attack. It all comes down to who gets those goals. And Yip did a great job of taking advantage of the opportunities they were given.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. Exactly what we talk about all the time. It's if you're able to take advantage of the chances, then then it all matters. But we saw from Roots all the time on attack and all the chances, three different opportunities on the power play. One of them, of course, abbreviated there, but at the end of the day, they couldn't get the job done when it mattered. They looked good at so many different points of the game, but a few times I think trying to look for too much of a perfect opportunity instead of just kind of throwing it on at times, which is kind of what worked for them, especially on that power play when they threw the puck towards an area and were able to get that one back here. So again, those are points that went by the wayside. That's going to be kind of bitter in the mouths of Roots because they want to be able to not only make the playoffs, but have some decent seating. They have a chance to make their way into a that 5 or 6 spot here. It's just unfortunately for them, in that one, dropping those 2 points in definitely a winnable game is definitely going to sting a little bit.
So yeah, I think we have an updated look here at the standings, perhaps, and if not, then we obviously know at least what the situation happens to be for these teams. As you see there, indeed, Yippee Voskala have moved up out of 13th, and again, since still games at hand over everybody that is below them, with the exception of Stargazing. They would certainly take an 11th place finish, if not better. And for Roots, again, a bit of an opportunity falling to the wayside, still in 7th, though, and can still tie Habu Gaming in points if they were to get a win in this second matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they have to get a. I mean, it's pretty much a must-win game for them in this scenario if they want to stay on the trajectory that they have been on here. Again, this is the team in Yippee Voskal who has struggled to score, but they allowed them at the end of the day to kind of play the game that they wanted. A very tight game, a lot of stoppages, especially down the stretch at the time where Roots probably want to keep that game one wide open. A lot of times where they had trouble gaining the line, a lot of bouncing pucks, a lot of offsides, and that just slows down that momentum. And it's exactly what Yippee Voskala wanted in that scenario here. Is again, crazily so, they're working their way back to almost 500 with a goal differential of 32 goals for and 54 against. That's kind of outrageous when you think about it, but same kind of thing for Roots. They actually had a negative goal differential sitting in that playoff spot with the kind of record that they have, which is a little bit crazy in and of itself, but they still have an opportunity to make up some points, but you definitely don't want to let it slip away here against a team like Yippee Voskal. I'm not too sure who they're playing at the tail end of the season, but I don't believe they had the easiest road for their last couple of matchups, if I'm remembering correctly.
Can certainly look that up here as we get ready for the action in this second game. Is a sports day of heartbreak for me. We'll see if it's a sports day of heartbreak for others. As Yippee Voskala, Sydney kind of mentioned it, who they have left. Again, they will be in action later on this week on broadcast against Färjestad. I also believe they have a makeup series against Örebro Hockey. So, an Örebro, a team that is likely to make the playoffs at this stage, and Färjestad very much trying to battle to get there. So, again, a lot to play for both of these teams. And again, coming up after the conclusion of this series for Lunda and H-Reds, the regular season matchup. They made us wait until the very end of H-Reds season for this particular showdown. It be our final for the 4th season in a row. It could very well be, but there is still a lot to play for now. Again, still for the likes of Frölunda, seeding still very much up for grabs with a team like Sawo right there on their tail. So we'll see what happens here in this next battle. But again, we want to remind you, of course, we're looking for the best and worst NHL 22 clips that you have to share on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to use the hashtag eHockeyMoments for your opportunity to walk away with some IQ fuel. Again, winner being selected every single week until the end of June. So I'll make sure to, again, use the hashtag eHockey Moments as we'll see what happens here. The action just about ready to begin. Yippee Voskala fresh off of a 3-2 victory in that first game. We'll see how this one goes down. Yip in their home unis. We'll see again if Roots can battle back here now and get that point that they are most certainly looking for. We see it right back in the attacking zone here to kick things off. That puck already bouncing around. Difficult to maintain possession. Puck turned over. Like you said, Sin, Roots stats on their side. The scoreboard was not. Seems to be a matter of a monstrous hit there. It's apparently clean. We've seen penalties for less.
Yeah, well, I think when you charge in with the hip check like that, you'll pretty much never ever get a penalty. So smart play by Limu there, understanding the mechanics and able to work that forecheck, trying to get possession for his team.
Smile, bud. You're on my highlight reel.
It is Roots back in control. Trying to hold on to that puck. Pass in front, bouncing around, can't get a shot off clean. Good wait to see what Roots are able to do here, Sin. I mean, wisely waiting for their centerman to get back to his feet after the contact.
Struggling to kind of gain the line, and again, when they do have the zone, they're still looking for those chances to the middle, which simply aren't going to be there. Jyväskylä, we talk about it. They have a very, very good collapse game, especially a tight defensive team when they want to be, which is why those kind of close games really seem to favor them here. Here's a bit of a chance for Roots as things open up.
Pass across, shot just wide. Roots trying to hold on to it, unable to do so. But Yip again stifled on that breakout. An offside call here, already halfway through this period.
Yeah, seemed to kind of been flying by right here, and not a whole ton of offense to speak of for either of these two clubs so far. That being said, I mean, a couple chances here and there. That's a awkward way to fall right there, and definitely an injury that he'll be fine. He'll just be able to skate through it like it's nothing, even though the leg looked to be at an awkward angle as he was going to the ice.
See what happens here on this face-off. Again, Roots, the rather large advantage in the face-offs throughout that first game. If we're able to kind of close the distance, coincided with their comeback. Sile has it. Ferraro immediately met at the blue line. Good stretch pass now. Limu with a bit of space to work with. Back down. Lexa across, and they score. What a feed from nearly below the goal line. Sampi finds the back of the net. And Roots strike first.
Beautiful passing play off of the rush right there to lay on the half wall and then pass towards the middle, and another pass across the net, and really no chance for Kazu on that play. Just a bang passing play, and Roots Gaming taking the 1-0 lead here in this one.
See again how Yip respond to this. They did score first in that first game. Pass off the mark. Fortunate for them, Yip turn it right back over. Chance here for Lexa. Able to hold on to it. 5 minutes to play here in this first period. Pass across, Indy just not able to get that to the backhand. Nordsman takes that one away. Copy for Lexa, get another poke check. Let's see now. That one just wide of the post. Wraparound bid doesn't go. That one clips the post. Nordsman has it. And now Sockham again. Saying a bit of an interesting pace here to this first period. A lot of quick changes of possession.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's especially in the neutral zone here. It's a bit different, but we saw that the one chance Roots were able to gain some space and get some speed on the rush. They're able to get quite a bit out of it. So I think we're going to see Jyväskylä continue to try to slow them down, especially in that neutral zone, and see if times they can get their own counterattack going. But it's again, they had some time and space right there, but it's a great play at the line from Nordsman right there to disrupt things and force Jyväskylä into an offside situation. And the more face-offs, the better, I think, if you're Roots Gaming. And Lex has been pretty good on the draws so far in this matchup.
Final minute here, a chance for either of these teams to grab a goal late. If have it, need to be careful to not turn it over. Unfortunately, offside there with 4 seconds to play.
Probably not quite enough time for them to get a clean look into the zone here. So we'll likely end the period with this scoreline here. Roots Gaming up 1-0 off of what really came out to just a good counterattack play. You can see there on team so far in this game having the advantage on draws, but still quite early there as Lexa gets the win on that one. We'll get another look at this opening goal here, and just a really, again, a thing of beauty there. Just really kind of textbook hockey plays. You know, the puck carrier gains the line with speed, kind of slows up on the half wall, creating the passing lane back down low for the other two guys streaking in. And that second pass across was just absolutely ridiculous. You can see Kazu still trying to slide over as well after that puck was in the back of the net right there. Just a quick little passing play. But again, response-wise, good job from JYP Jyväskylä. It wasn't, you know, and by any means a dominating possession performance coming out from Roots. The problem is for JYP Jyväskylä, they didn't generate a single shot in that one. So zone time, sure, but not being able to get a shot is something that they definitely don't want to see here. A beautiful pass back right behind the defenseman here, but that's what I'm talking about. Just the quick zone entry. Uses you know, the kind of stop right there to create some more space, feeds that pass down low, almost into like a very, very mini 2-on-1 scenario, and the pass back across ends up leading to that go-ahead goal. So we'll see what the response is going to be from JYP Jyväskylä here in this second period as we get underway.
There's JYP in possession to kick things off. Shockingly offside. Aro trying to get that one back. Let's see what Sampi can do. A couple of goals here tonight so far. That rocket pass off the skate of a man in front. Great poke check there by Indy. Numbers perhaps here for you. Pass across for Aro. What a great job by the defense. Now, head of steam down the other way for Roots Gaming. Pass in front. Sampi scores! Chances for both sides. Roots strike. It is 2-0.
Great play coming out from Roots right there. Really kind of led by Lexa there. Just the head of steam down the wing. Just didn't stop scanning till he fully had that zone. Passes across, and I think Kazu was thinking it was going to the other guy on the back door, but it was the late man coming in the zone who was the recipient of the pass there, and that was Sampi just able to kind of slide that one into the back of the net as Kazu was overcommitting to that right-hand side. And Roots Gaming now with a 2-0 lead, and they're right back in the zone.
And JYP Jyväskylä entering play with a negative goal differential. Struggling to find that offensive form all season long. They certainly need to find said form throughout the second half of this game. That shot save, second chance off the side of the goal. Indy still slow to get back to his feet. That shot scores! It's Lexa in front on the rebound. Roots Gaming now up by 3. Ruthless efficiency.
Yeah, they're really seeming to find their groove right there. I like that decision-making coming out from Limu there. He didn't really have a pass, but there was no hesitation. He didn't even really look for the pass. He got the puck, threw it on the net low, and just swept into the back of the net by Lexa here. And it's been an offensive explosion for Roots Gaming here in this second period. And you know, JYP Jyväskylä just really reeling at this point. Got to find some way not only to slow down Roots Gaming, but get some offense of their own, but they may not have that chance off the post. The shot from Limu.
And another shot and another goal. Nordsman on the one-timer. 4-0 Roots Gaming. A message being sent here in the second period.
Absolutely. I think it's safe to, yeah, we're going to see the timeout being called here. Goodness gracious, 4 goals on 6 shots. You said ruthless efficiency. I think that's the best descriptor for what's happening right here in this second period. Roots Gaming has just flipped a switch, found some other level to their game, and they are absolutely pouring it on JYP Jyväskylä right now, who just cannot seem to figure out a way to stop this team, much less generate offense of their own. And 4-0 with the goal differential for JYP Jyväskylä, unless they can really find a way to crank it up a notch here. This could be an early end to their night. Kind of crazy to say with the amount of time that's left in this game, but again, JYP Jyväskylä throughout the entirety of the season have really struggled finding ways to score. None of their forwards at point per game or above here. But a chance perhaps with this icing to generate some offense of their own.
We always do talk about goal differential. It could come down to that in the standings. So certainly, yep, a lot to play for here, needing to grab a couple of goals back. Certainly in their best interest. Turnover here, Sile. Aro can't get that pass through. And yep, certainly not the type of team I think that we'd expect to see maybe turtle up here, especially with half a game to play. You never know, crazier things have happened. In terms of comebacks. Lexa down low. Swordsman's shot doesn't go through. Big stretch pass for Aro. Again, completely stifled by the defense. Held in by Indy at the line. Chance there again broken up. Knocked loose off the pad there. Aro tried to go back to Antti. Yep, better offensive zone pressure, but still not able to find that clean look.
Yeah, I like their forecheck coming out. It is really good. Defenseman pinching up, trying to keep that puck in, and for so long they were succeeding in that. It's just, you'd like to see that a bit more in their game. Just, from a basic perspective, you'd like to see them maybe start off like that with that sort of forecheck.
One-timer, great save and a rebound. Antti finds it through the traffic, puts it into the back of the net, and Jyväskylä are on the board.
A great response right there coming out. Antti, it's going to be unassisted there, so it may have been just Roots someone getting possession on that, and Antti somehow being able to come up with the puck. I really thought that Mekis got the cover. Oh, yeah, it's because he got the animation right there, but somehow just kind of still found a way to slide through him, and Antti just had a tap-in, so to speak. Again, fortuitously, the puck just kind of bounced to his stick. He just guided it into the net here. That's a big goal here. If they can get another one here before the end of this period, not in too bad a shape.
Indeed, plenty of time. One goal at a time. Let's see what Yip can do. Still 4 minutes to play here in this second period. That shot doesn't go. Good opportunity there, though, from Indy. Sile being pressured. Good job to hold on to it. Pass for Aro off the mark, and we'll see another offside.
And just like it was in the first game here, the stoppage is now not benefiting the team who is down. So Jyväskylä are probably the team right now who kind of want to see that pace keep going and being able to get some chances, keep the game flow going, be able to keep their forecheck going, get some cycles down low here. But Roots, another good job on the face-off dot to win that away and gain possession.
Over the line, Indy. Shot. Might have been blocked in front. We approach the final minute. What a save there by Mehis. It was Indy on the doorstep, but not welcomed in. Nordsman trying to hold on to that. Gets the pass out. Delayed call on Jyväskylä. 5 seconds. That shot saved by Kazu. Heartbreak there at the end of the period. What a chance. There's unfortunately there for Indy. He's denied and then takes the penalty.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate series of events right there if you're Jyväskylä, but still a chance right here for Roots. They have enough time on the draw. If we get the camera switch here, but Indy may have just set his controller down to grab a drink or something.
As that one goes all the way down. And that will do it for the second period. Roots with an explosion of offense. And a 4-1 lead as a result.
Yeah, just a tough situation to be in if you're Jyväskylä, but the good news is they did get 2 points out of that first game here, and this is kind of, the pressure was really on Roots here in this second game. They couldn't come away, from this series empty-handed here, being ahead of Jyväskylä in the standings, but they've that second period explosion has been absolutely massive. Just one registered shot since then. So you can see the pushback that was coming from Jyväskylä after going down like that. They took the timeout. They're able to kind of come back and generate some chances of their own, getting that big goal to kind of stop the bleeding here and give themselves a fighting chance down the stretch here, but with 1 period to play, still 3 goals to make up. It's going to be a very, very tough period from Jyväskylä. But the way that Roots has been playing in this one with the counterattack that they are able to gain at times, it's going to be a tough task no matter what here. And if Jyväskylä, they're going to have to push for that offense. So definitely look for Roots Gaming to try to get that counterattack going. But they're going to have a bit of a power play time here to start off the third.
Indeed, we will see if Roots can get the goal. That will be enough. Certainly, you'd think a 5-1 deficit would be enough to get the job done. They dump this puck in. Good job there by Limu. Swordsman for Vodi, the D to D, work it down low. Interesting to see what they're looking for here. That pass in front, certainly not available. Limu shot, deflects, and up out of play.
Big chance right there coming out from Roos. They're just so good at passing around onto the perimeter here. And then from that, they're able to get those chances on, and then everyone collapses. But so Jyväskylä, while being a good team that collapses and keeps teams to the outside here, it doesn't seem to matter too much for Roots there, who kind of seem to almost want that to happen on the power play. But a nice clear right there. Just one more rush and maybe a setup for Roots.
Puck down low. Sampi couldn't get that pass in front, and Yip do survive. Again, perhaps that momentum building effort that they needed. They're in the attacking zone. Shot on, and a good save. Another chance. Antti can't hold it. Still in a dangerous area. Indy got that shot. Second chance, they score! Aro gets the goal, bringing Yip to within 2. With 16 and a half to go here in the third period, this game far, far from over.
The momentum swings in this 2-game set from these two are just been nuts. I think that's the second time that it's been a solid kill, and then the team that killed the penalty comes back to score pretty quickly here, and Jyväskylä cutting the deficit to 2, and can't really fault Mechis on that one. That's just a crazy bouncing puck, nearly impossible to track, that just found its way to Otto's stick, and now it's up to your Roots Gaming now. They got to find some kind of response, try to keep it in this offensive zone as much as possible and get some chances here. Massive collision, and here come Jyväskylä.
See if they can take advantage of the downed opponent here. Indy. Stile's shot doesn't go through, and a loose puck. Lexa back to his feet.
I am getting
In
too
the
old
play.
for this.
Stompy takes a big hit. Yep, putting the pressure on. Indy. Great work in the attacking zone. Nearly got that puck over to Aro. Stile wins it back. One-timer just off the side of the goal after hitting Nordsman in front. No icing on the call. The clock, the enemy of Jyväskylä here. Still 12 minutes to go. Stile. That pass, Bodie completely able to stifle the opposition. Aro now able to recover. That shot save, rebound was there. Nordsman, excellent defensive positioning to take it away. Stile gets it down low. Aro wanted the wraparound. And a puck kicked out. We have a foot race for it. Going to be Sampi who wins it. Able to hold on to it, though. Great job. Turns over, though. That chance still alive. And nervous moments for Jyväskylä, almost disastrous. Stile, that shot nearly deflected. Puck unable to be cleared. Stile has it here. Shot, rebound. Good job there by the defense again to take away the dangerous opportunity. Antti tried to find Indy in front. 6.5 to play. Limu unable to hold on to it. This is fantastic offensive pressure from Yip. They just need one to really get things going here. This one again, though, going to go all the way back to their own zone.
Time ticking away here, but this is excellent hockey being played from Jyväskylä here.
It's unfortunately unable to get that shot off. Limu the spin. Sampi nowhere to go. Now down to 4 minutes. And an offside call. 3:19 off the clock.
The
We're
sense
on the
of
clock at
urgency.
this point.
Yeah, the sense of urgency that Jyväskylä is playing right now has turned them into, and playing, honestly, some of the best hockey that we've seen them play in this season. And I hope they kind of, look back on these games and sort of remember this, because offensively, this is, again, the best they've really looked at any point, at least in this 2-game set here. And it's, again, it's that sense of urgency, maybe even a little bit of desperation creeping in, but it's making them be aggressive, and it's forcing all kinds of chances.
The attacking zone, puck turned over. And a 2-on-1 perhaps down the other way. Defense catching up fast. Limu picks the corner and seals the deal. What a shot. 5-2 for Roots. All the pressure in the world sent from Jyväskylä, but they couldn't find the goal they needed.
Yeah, they couldn't find the goal, and then the overcommittal and just the counterattack. That's what we kind of thought, if Jyväskylä had to kind of open the game up as much as they would need to try to get this one back to a tie game, it would open up the counterattack. Surprising, that was really the first kind of opportunity that Roots had. It was just such a beautiful performance from Jyväskylä, but eventually all that aggression can come back to bite you, but they're still going for it. Great stick right there from Nordsman.
Big stretch pass off the mark. Lexa is going to chase it down as we approach the final minute. Sampi goes into the pads of Kazu, who's able to cover. So again, it was a 3-2 Jyväskylä victory in Game 1, but the offensive pressure for Roots Gaming able to get the job done. 50 seconds to go. And a chance for Lexa. Big save by Kazu on the backhand. As Roots not taking their foot off the gas here. An offside call with 34 seconds to go.
These teams here just kind of really kind of amping things up, the aggression on at the end here. I think Roots, really responding to being hemmed in the way they were. Definitely not something that they had been used to in this matchup here, and they want to kind of get some momentum coming back their other way, even though they sort of had this one wrapped up. Speaking of wraps, a wrap opportunity there from Limu there, looking for just a little bit of a feel-good goal at the end.
Absolutely, you see there, just 10 shots for Roots. A lot of high-quality chances against Kazu. Certainly want that last goal back, as he did get caught a couple of times today on those shots. Loose puck, and it is found. 17 seconds to play. Yip gonna try to get a goal back here. Certainly too little too late to be able to tie this one up. I mean, again, we have seen crazy things. 3 goals in 12 seconds. Call it a hunch. I think this one is out of reach. A strong performance, though, for both teams in a sense. 2 points for both sides after this regular season matchup, and a late goal with .2 on the clock. Aro finding the back of the net, and well, then we talked about goal differential. That one might help out a little bit.
Oh, this is just a great matchup for Aro. He's really been struggling to score throughout the course of the season. Just 5 goals coming into today, and we see him score at least 2 right here. So that's, a nice little bit of momentum for Jyväskylä kind of going in to the rest of their games in this season here. And unfortunately for Matt, he said his stats will look a little bit worse, but at the end of the day, Roots get the 2 points that they wanted in this second game, and that will help them maintain their position here in the playoff race.
So again, 2 points for both of these clubs at the end of this matchup. Again, we'll get a look at the, I believe, second Aro goal. I imagine what it will show. No, it will show the first one, I think. Maybe that is the second. Who's to say? Regardless, and I mean, again, Roots able to get the victory that they were certainly looking for after a disappointing loss in that first game, I think, is the best way that they would describe it. Right there, it was that shot that kind of sealed the deal.
Just like a counterattack play, essentially. And that was right at the tail end of Jyväskylä's massive push, where they actually jumped ahead and had a pretty firm lead on the time and attack stats. So in this matchup, both the teams who led in time and attack at the end of the day weren't the teams coming away with the win. So, that stat has always kind of been hit or miss, essentially. And this one, and both of them, they were both misses. But it was just JYP Jyväskylä. I really, again, I'm just going to, throw it out there. I think I really like the tail end of that matchup for them when they were desperate, when they were down by 4. They flipped the switch and were just able to kind of go all out aggression. I think there's a way where they can mix that in to their normal play style a little bit more and be able to, solve some of their offensive woes that they've had over the course of the season. I think they get too comfortable in playing that defensive style, sort of bend, don't break at times. And if you're not taking risks, yeah, sure, you're maybe at times if you take too many risks, it can be detrimental, but a risk here and there, I think it's all about the balance. You got to balance aggression with, with temperament. And that's something that JYP Jyväskylä, I think, has found out here in that second game, especially. The 2 goals that they got came from them cranking up the aggression. I think they could keep a lot of that, keep that forecheck going. I mean, you think about almost half of their goals scored in this 2-game set came from forechecking, whether it was, the 2 goals in this one or that one in the previous game from Indy, where he came in on the forecheck, forced the loose puck, and they had that really pretty passing play. And speaking of nice passing plays, that was a pretty nice one. Just a quick little pass out, and then the zero hesitation shot low and cleaned up by Lexa here. So a great set of games between these two. The pace was there at times, some offsides wars and some neutral zone wars, but it never really stayed that way for too long. Both these teams, found ways to open things up, get some chances that they wanted. And unfortunately for JYP Jyväskylä, just a rough start for them in that one sort of doomed them. But I like the response nonetheless. Even though they didn't come back and tie it, getting those 2 goals was absolutely massive.
Again, get a look at the replay of the goals. Again, for Roots, that offensive performance that, well, they certainly needed as a way to bounce back. I mean, you talk about the goal-scoring struggles for JYP. The least amount of goals scored in the league entering play today. Roots in the bottom half of that as well. The 6th least, yet the 7th most goals for per game. So figure that one out in terms of the average. But this was the Roots offense at their best. Maybe not the JYP Jyväskylä defense and goaltending at theirs. But, again, Roots now 14-7-5 on the season with 33 points, continuing that playoff charge. I mean, it's been a tremendous season for them already. As we'll get a look one more time at the late goal from Aro, I do believe.
No, that was, we just saw that one.
We did just see that. Excuse me. I
Yeah.
looked away for half a moment, and there you go. You look foolish when you look away for half a moment. With that, everybody, our first matchup of the day is in the books. You're not going to want to go anywhere, though, because up next, at the other side of this brief intermission, H-Reds and Frölunda. Again, the final 2 games of the season for H-Reds as they take on this stage, their biggest rivals. So again, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a few minutes.